Hello, my friends. I am Coach Nikki, and I'm here in Lake Tahoe. Super excited today to talk about the art, kind of much more the pros, because you know me. If you know me at all, I'm definitely pro small business, but pros and cons of small business, of creating anything from a small business to a side hustle, and just kind of tips on how to do so. If this is something that you want to dive into further, I can talk about business all day long. I love it. I love everything about it. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have further questions, or again, just type them in the chat. If you're here on replay, type replay. If you have questions, type them in. Great to see you, Suzanne. Great to see you, Laura. Thanks everybody for being on. So we've got a quick, like 15, 20 minutes to dive into, should you start a small business? Or maybe if you do, please type in what type of business that you already have. And as we're talking, you can give me like a thumbs up in the reaction, or maybe a cry face if you're feeling pain on these areas of your business. So there, on average, 600,000 businesses are launched every year, which is pretty exciting when you think about that there's an individual or individuals behind each of these ideas that we want to put out into the world. And when you're thinking about, should I start a small business? Should I do, and we'll talk about like the difference between like franchising and business and side hustles. But when you're thinking about like, what do I want to start a business? I think it should always start with passion. It should always start with that you have something inside you that you really want to share with the world. And that idea is and could be something that can be so valuable to other people when it's created in a business that you share with people. So, again, if you have a business, please type in what business that you have. If you have ideas, type in maybe an idea if you want to share it with us, because the best way to kind of get that motivation to jump off and actually be part of this like crazy entrepreneurial world is just having the support and the motivation of others that you can do it. I believe in you. You can do this. I would love for you to start a Kaya business. So for those of you, I think most of you know me because I'm here every Friday and I'm connected with you guys in so many different ways. But I started 20 years ago, actually in January, with a little gymnastics business. Saved about $7,000, and my sister and I, we bought some gymnastics equipment. And but I always kind of knew in my heart, no matter where I was or who I was working for, that I really loved serving people, and I really loved the art of business. So I worked at Sprouts, which is like right here down the street in Lake Tahoe. If you come to Lake Tahoe, you'll have to, it's not like the grocery store Sprouts, it's a natural food cafe. I worked there for about 15 years and really like kind of honed in some of the things that I think were crucial for me running a business. And then, when I became a gymnastics teacher and started becoming a sports coach, I quickly realized that if I want to help many people, I needed to create a business. And so in creating those businesses, and I still have two gymnastics facilities, we have 25 Kaya locations. I run two of them myself and HQ, but also have lots of different little things, like maybe you could call them side hustles, that all bleed in to that same vein of serving mass amounts of people and trying to do my best to take my passion and give it to you. So my first question to you is, what makes you super happy? Like, what is it that makes you like, when you think about it, you get like a little butterflies in your stomach, like, ooh, that's exciting. You think about, I'm pretty good at this, and I think I could help others be good as well. But sometimes we actually start a business with our downfalls. So sometimes we're like, ooh, I really need a little like kick in the butt when it comes to, um, so say for me, like, originally is like, I might need a little more research on how to be really happy. I want to do more research on how to optimize my body. And so that need in my own heart was something that was so important to me that I was able to start a business and share my journey along the way. Because I think most of us, when we start businesses, we're not perfect by any means, and probably will never be. But what we do with our business is we learn and share, grow as much as possible to again serve as many people as possible. Okay, so we're going to go into what I feel like are the biggest benefits of owning a business or a side hustle. And before we kind of get into that, a side hustle tends to be something where you're making money on the side. So you have a regular 9 to 5 job and you're like, I need to make some extra money. So it could be anything from like Deb with her knitting business. It could be like Suzanne, and I'm not exactly sure what all. I know you offer many things to the beautiful world, but educating children on how to be safer behind the wheel. There's so many different things that we can do in a side hustle, and it could even be like my mom was driving Uber for a little while, of like, hey, I'm gonna just earn some extra money off time. She also owned a kaya. She's done like many things. I think my mom is like such a beautiful entrepreneur in her just efforts of like, hey, I'm going to figure out how to make money and I'm going to do it. And then just kind of getting through all the different aspects of life. So when you're thinking about a side hustle, it's usually you work 9 to 5 and it's something additional to bring in money or give your passion out to the world. When you're doing a small business or a business, that can also be a side hustle. You can do a business on the side. There's a few Kaya owners that have a regular like 9 to 5 business, and then they own a franchise, a business on the side. But then you're going to need to probably have a bigger team to help you with running and organizing the businesses. And then the difference between like having a franchise, like purchasing a franchise and then starting your own business, is usually when you purchase a franchise, you're purchasing like the brand. So you really want to make sure that you like the brand, you like the mission, you like the culture of like what this brand has built, that you're buying the systems. So you're coming into a business that already has systems for you. So that usually is like your operating systems, your operating manual, your employee manuals, all of the ins and outs of like how to collect money, your website, all of those good things. And then the third in the benefits of owning a franchise is the leverage that you get being part of a bigger system. So you have a bigger reach with marketing because everybody's marketing together. You get discounts on like clothing that you can sell. You get leverage when it comes to like you get less expensive everything from like a website to like we use MindBody, so we get a really good discount for all of these different like email operating systems because there's so many of us that we get a better discount. So when you're thinking about like, should I do a side hustle, a business, a franchise, you want to really look at those kind of things and say, okay, what is it that I really want? How much time do I have? And then how can I best utilize again your passion, your knowledge to build a business, whichever you choose. So okay, so number one, the biggest reason, or it's actually kind of like the one of the biggest reasons that I really love having my own business is because you are the destiny. You are your own destiny and you're the leader of your time and your schedule. And this is, usually business owners are hard workers. Like I'll work, if I were working for you, I would work just as hard if I were working for myself. I love to work. I often say I'll work till the day I die. I hope I get to work till 100 years old because I love working. And so when I'm looking at the being the leader of my time, I like to work when I like to work, and I also like to take vacations, and I also like to go to my kids' hockey game, and I like to go for walks in the middle of the day. And there's a lot of things that I like to do, and being in control of my own time allows that. So when you're thinking about your own business, it is really important because a lot of times people get unbalanced, like that work-life balance. We get it in like a regular like 9 to 5 job as well as a business. Like, no matter what, we're kind of always trying to juggle that like work life balance. But what is really important when you own your own business is to set time boundaries and to time block. So I thought I'd share really quickly with you like a typical like day in the life. And again, if you're here on the Zoom call, you'll get the show notes. So I always want to encourage you to sign up on our KaiFit app so we can send you the show notes. So you have these as like resources if that is helpful. So my typical day is and I was kind of thinking about like, so I write in the morning, I'm writing a book with my sister, Amy. She's a physician. We're writing a book together called Born to be Free. It's kind of a side hustle. So even though my book is part of Kaya and going to be a workbook for you to optimize your mind, body, and soul, it's extra. And so I get up at about 4. We start writing at 4:30, and we write for about an hour to an hour and a half. Right from there, I plan my day. So I use full focus. I use one. I like having like pen to paper for my daily schedule and my calendar, but I also have it on, of course, like an online calendar that I know where everybody else is in my life and they know where I am. And so I can book my appointments through there. So I take about 15 minutes to kind of like plan my day and say, okay, what is the most important thing I want from my day? And I do that first. And so at 7 o'clock, I get Kai ready. I get him out to school. I come back, I work out with you guys for Kaya, like 8:30 to 9. And then I do my power hours. So those are 75 minutes of focused work. I do 20 minutes on, 5 minute tea break, whatever, 20 minutes on, break, 20 minutes on, then I give myself a full 15-minute break. And then after that, I have breakfast. I come back for another power hour. After that, I have lunch. I come back for another power hour. And then after that is kind of my free time. So about 1:30 is like I'll go for a walk. I check my emails. That's where I book my appointments. So if I'm booking any kind of like meetings or appointments, I try to take them to the end of the day when my brain is fried. And if I have an appointment, you're probably talking, and I'm doing less of the actual like creative work. So, and then I try to shut down complete around 5 p.m. Now that's not always the case, but that's my goal is like shut down complete at 5 p.m. And then I'm able to like whatever, again, take Layla for a walk, make dinner, go to any type of like sports games, um, hang out with my friends, whatever that is in the evening. So that's kind of a typical day. I am like going to Peru next month, which is so exciting. Kai got an invitation and accepted to, because he wants to be a surgeon. He's 15, but he's always like wanted to be a surgeon. He got accepted into this medical program where he gets to actually go do surgeries in Peru. And of course, I have to go with him because he's young. And so we get to go do that for a couple weeks next month. But that really made me think about like, if I had a regular 9 to 5, that would be my only vacation time. And that would be really hard for me to decide to go alone with Kai without my husband and without my family and friends, and that be my only vacation of the year. So that's another big bonus for me is that sure, I work like mass hours, and a lot of times I work on the weekends because I like it. But then I kind of set these boundaries and I'm able to take time off. So, number one is you are the leader of your time and your destiny. Number two is what I love so much is you are your number one asset. And if you're going to have a successful business, that your self development needs to be the first and foremost. Like I've for the last 20 years, I live in Lake Tahoe. I work in Gardnerville and in Carson and kind of all over. I drive everywhere, and I take that opportunity of that hour drive every single day to listen to Audible books. And so my college education, my like degree is pretty much a road trip degree of like being on the road, listening to amazing people that put all of their knowledge of their life into a book. And so when you're thinking about having a business, starting a business, creating a side hustle, is prioritize yourself as number one. Your health, your mental clarity, your sleep, your eating, what you read, and what you ingest will come out in your business. And the healthier, happier, and more developed of a human being that you are, the more successful that your business will be, and the more people that you can help in this world. So, taking care of yourself is number one. Then another, every time I hit these like number one, number two, I'm like, no, this is my favorite. So you can tell that I'm like so excited about this talk. But building a team is when you have the opportunity to create a business. And this can be a virtual team. This can be a team of you and your significant other, or your friends or partners, or you can start a business and hire amazing people that can do things that you're not that great at. And then you guys work together to create a culture and something that you can give out to the world. So when it's like, when you're on your own, I often talk about like the idea of like a symphony, or just kind of playing one musical instrument is like, yeah, it's pretty, but when you have a symphony, it's amazing and breathtaking. And so when you're building a business, one of the best things is HR, is like is really getting to know other people and really helping them express what they do really well, and building together a business that is not just like, I think a lot of times people are like, oh, Nikki's the founder of Kaya. Well, I'm one of the founders of Kaya, but all of us together have founded Kaya because Kaya is built on a team and a family. And my family has, like, I've stood on their shoulders for many, many years. And almost all of them have opened a Kaya at one point, and almost all of them have spoken at our different conferences, and owners and coaches and Kaya girls, everybody together has helped me build this business. So building a team is definitely one of the pluses of having a business. So number four is taxes. And I know you're like, taxes, but it's awesome to have write-offs. And when you think about having like a small business, and maybe you don't even want to start a small business, but maybe you're like, oh, I can coach for Kaya, I can be an independent contractor, I can have an LLC, and then I can also have these write-offs. So there's so many ways to think about ways to write off your livelihood. So like here, this is just my downstairs of my house. I rent it back to myself and have $1,000 a month in a tax write-off just for having a home studio. You can write off your car, your phone, your, like, if you do workout, like your workout clothes. You can actually like write off this year 100% of your meals, as long as like you're going out and taking your employees out, or maybe it's like a potential business partner, things like that. There's so many things that are tax benefits. And of course, I am not a CPA. I am not, you're going to have to check with your CPA to see like what you can really write off and what you can't. But I know for me, that's a bonus. The next is, the more people that you serve, the more money that you make. And so when you're thinking about a business, is how many people can you help? That will directly reflect on how much money you make. Money is such an important conversation, because money isn't like a stagnant, like shove it under your bed and hide it. It's energy. So the more money that you have, the more money that you give, and the more that you build, and that energy creates energy. And so if you can think about it in that way of like, okay, I want to start a business. How many people can I serve? The more people I serve, the more money I make. The more money I make, the better I can serve these people. And that will continue to build and build and build. So thinking about when you're starting a business, serving as many people as possible be via this, right? Just virtual, where you're sitting in your living room, I'm sitting in my living room, in studio. So maybe you want like a brick and mortar, and then maybe incorporating lots of them, because next is like revenue streams. Most millionaires, a huge percentages of millionaires, have about 6 to 7 different revenue streams, and different types of ways to make money, be it passive, be it not passive, which is like work and offering things in person and getting that exchange. But when you're thinking about building a business, is creating different revenue streams. And so say you work like a regular 9 to 5, and then you're like, okay, well, this is my kind of insurance and this is like my stability, and now I'm going to create another revenue stream by opening up a kaya. And then I'm going to have in my kaya business, I'm going to sell clothes, and I'm going to sell supplements, and I'm going to sell nutrition plans, and I'm going to do retreats. I'm going to do like all of these like little things that are additional revenue streams, but kind of feed into that same energy source, because you also don't want to be too all over the place, because sometimes that can be exhausting and maybe just hard. So I think just when you're thinking about different revenue streams, try to keep them into that same, like, this is my passion, this is what I want to do, how can I create lots of different ways to make money to serve more people. Okay, and number 7 is you work for the best boss ever. So you are your own boss, and you are the boss of all of these great things. And so I really don't even have to explain that at all, right? You're awesome. You're going to be the best boss ever, and you're going to be great to work for. So that is a big bonus in my mind. It also helps you build a resume. So when you're thinking about like, I don't know if I'm going to do a business forever. Like, I think I just kind of want to do it to get the experience, to see what it's like, to kind of maybe see if it's something for me. Even if you decide you build a business, and the typical business for just like one person business generates about $40,000 in revenue a year. So if you think about like a 25% profit margin, that's like, it's great if you're just doing a small business for yourself. And then at the end of the day, you're like, I either want to sell the business or I want to do something else. You have built an incredible resume. I'll tell you right now, when I go hire somebody, I would much rather hire somebody who has owned their own business, who has been in the trenches of the ups and downs that this business has to offer, than somebody with their like a Harvard degree that is coming in from no experience of running a business at all. So building your resume is also something. It doesn't have to be forever. Sometimes we think like, oh, I'm so afraid to do this because I'm going to be stuck. You're never stuck. It just could be a tool to build your resume to help maybe other small businesses in the future. And then 9 is you never have to fail if you never give up. And I've gone through, you guys, oh my goodness, like the ups and downs of a pandemic, of being very young in business, of not having deep pockets, of having to be different, resourceful in different ways. But I'll tell you one thing for sure is I will never give up. And that means I never fail. And, yes, sometimes my road kind of veers, which is normal, in different directions, but you never have to worry about failing if you never give up. And if you never give up and you just kind of change the direction of different things, then you will always be successful. So, and then last but not least is studies show that people who own their own businesses are more joyful. 77% of people asked that have their own small businesses, out of those 600,000 people that launched businesses, is that that 77% of them are more happy doing their own business than being in that normal, like, working for somebody else, working for a big corporation. And really, it was compared to working for a big corporation, of working that that 9 to 5. So, and also when you're thinking about like becoming happy in owning your own business, side hustle, or whatever that is I hope that my team that works with me feels like it is their own business, because it really is. Like our what we built together is something that is a business. And so if you are like, hey, I want to help somebody else build their business, thank you so much, because we all need to work together to create all of these different opportunities for people. And when you feel like the work that you do is your business, you're bought into it, you're helping people, that joy is just probably as equal as like having your own. So, okay, so I hope that was helpful. Let's see where we're at. We're perfect, right on time. I'm going to go through really quickly. The art of owning a business, a side hustle, a franchise is knowing what you're passionate about, and then taking that passion and being brave and jump in. I think everybody should do it. I think that at least one point in our lives, we should own a business or help someone build a business or be a partner in that business building. So number one is you are the leader of your time and your schedule and your destiny. Number two is you are your number one asset, regardless of what you're doing in life. Prioritize yourself, your education. The better you are, the better the world is. Number three is building a team is one of the most beautiful ways to create a strong business. Number three is that you get tax write-offs, all kinds of different tax write-offs. Number four is the more people you serve, the more money you make. So think about how many people that you can serve, the more money that you make, the more money that you can give, and that builds on each other. Number five is creating different revenue streams will really help with that like sense of stability in like passive income, all the different ways that you can create that one passion and then do lots of different things with it. You are the best boss ever. It also helps you build your resume. You will never fail if you never give up, and it creates more joy. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I am going to jump over to Instagram for just a really quick, like 5 minute snapshot at the benefits of building a small business if you want to join me over there. And then 9 a.m. every Friday, I have a live stream workout. Please sign up for it on the app. It's free Fridays, so you can bring friends. You can have your mom, which my mom is in Arizona. We get to work out together every Friday together. You can have your friends and your aunties. You guys can join. If you show screens, you guys can see each other. You can work out together. So please join me at any time on those Friday 9 a.m. classes. I also coach kind of throughout the week as well. But again, thank you guys so much for just collectively bringing our energy together and being open to the ideas of all that life has in store for us. So